And in our houses, they're not painted. The houses are coated with a stucco material that's called Stowe, and the color is right in the cement. So there's really no need to ever paint the house unless it starts to fade away that you really want to paint it.
Right.
So my house is probably the same color yellow that it was 12 years ago, but not quite as yellow as it used to be. So the only time I notice its color change is if I want to touch something up. And you can't really touch anything up. You got to paint the whole section of the house, and then it's not noticeable. But I don't plan on ever painting the house unless the house starts to look crummy. But really, the yellow is just as nice as the day I bought it. And I don't really have any intentions of changing my color.
You don't have to.
Well, but the thing is, if everybody's changing the color, I really don't want to ever have to change my color just to make it look more modern or to update to what the other communities look like.
You don't have to, Lester. And keep in mind, as we get older, our eyesight gets worse, so our house may look good. It may not actually look good.
I realize that.
Vinnie Cristo, Reef Lane. Just to clarify on the process, please. Once this motion has been approved and we're allowed to make changes, do we go through the ACC like we normally do, tell them this is the color we want, and they approve or disapprove? And will that also include a painter? Does the ACC have to approve the painter?
No, the ACC will not approve the painter or the contractor, just the colors that are required. So that would be up to you. We're just giving you the conversation that Mario said to me. They would be willing to come in.
It's the same process. It's just
same process.
Thank you.
Here comes the real boss.
Marie Tartaglia, Reef Lane. I just have a question. Most of the houses are painted beige, orange, yellows, and all. Where do the grays come in? Because if you have a beige house and put a gray one next to it, how does that?
Not really, actually. Some of these in the palette are very similar to what we have existing.
Oh, okay. Because when you said grays and silvers, I said that doesn't seem like it goes with anything.
Really, but I have the chips here, which you're free to look at after the meeting.
Okay.
And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so it may be perfect to the neighbor. Any other comments from the floor? Seeing none, comments from the board. Robin?
Sorry, it helps to take it off mute. Well, you have my comment. I just don't want to see us expanding this, for us to be including a list of approved vendors, because we don't do that for house maintenance. But again, I want to thank Bill and Mary Scanlon for all the work that you guys have done. I know how many months you've worked on this, and I know you spend almost every Sunday going out to other communities to visit. And I think your color selections are right on. Thank you.
I'd like to add that I realize it's not part of this motion, but maybe the board should look into sunsetting some of the colors that we don't have names, only chips for, and sunset them as future changes that people can make. Obviously, if your house happens to be that color, you don't have to change it, but sunset those for future use, since we don't have any documentation on what color it is.
That could be for consideration in the future. I think this motion would just be to add the colors. The confusion of the old books we'll definitely have to look into. Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
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 Motion carries. At this time, I guess we're going to open the floor to the public comment. Anybody have a public comment?
I've got an old business item and a new business item. Old business. We're talking a lot about improving the appearance of places. You can't hear me?
I'm sorry. We're having a lot of conversations going on here. If you care not to listen to the meeting.
We're going to spend another $6,200 to light the dome.
Yeah.
Old business. Been brought up lots of times. Bruce even mentioned somebody wrote into the HOA hotline. Not me. Sidewalks. When are they going to be cleaned?
That's it.
They get cleaned on right now on a as requested basis, and
Okay, I request that they all be cleaned. You drive by Village Walk, and our sidewalks and curbs are almost black. Right on Latitude. I just drove
The
there
last
today.
contractor that came in gave us a price of $155,000, and that was only the exterior circle, the boulevard, out by the entrance. That wasn't down every street. I have no problem with that. We're working on other procedures that we're trying to get to.
Okay, whatever happened to, I think it was the engineering committee, made a proposal of purchasing, I guess, something that looks like a Zamboni
Yep.
that goes down. I think that was 50 to 60,000.
Yes, but you still have to run that. It still takes time and manpower.
Of course.
Your price is similar, but there's other options that we're trying as far
Price
as chemicals.
is similar if you're spending 60,000 on a machine and then,
Yeah, manpower. Do you want to do the calculation? It's
Well-
something that would take a whole year just to catch up on.
that's fine. We could even
Numerous-
break it up into quarters, one per year.
That's what we're doing now. We're trying to hit quad at a time and try to hit the worst areas as we go. And as we come up with other devices that may do this job, then we can make a permanent solution. But until then, it's something, each house as they pressure wash their driveways, we've been asking them to do, excuse me over there. Each house, as they're doing the driveways, we've been asking them to do also in front of their house, which assists us. But it's not something we have the manpower for right now. We're one man down. We're hoping to get that up to speed. We're trying other processes that may work. Until we come up to a solution, I'm open for any suggestions you have.
Okay. Again, we're spending a lot of money to improve the appearance. That's also a safety issue, as somebody last month said they slipped on the sidewalks. Second question, I want to thank Jerry for sending out this financial information last week. Are you planning on sending out another email, or not email blast, but mailing with information that was not included in this?
no. But if you have any requests for any additional information, you can email me, and I'll either.
Well, for instance, I have no idea how much money the HOA has. There's no beginning balances for the year. There's only one final balance, which was from the reserve fund. There wasn't a single expense in 2018 listed in this. There was budget, but no actual expenses.
So you want a monthly financial
No.
report? We give that every month. It's on the website. If you go under financials, it'll give you all that information. There's 141 pages every month that you can go on. So if you want to go on right now, I think it's October, Bill, it's on there. You go on right now, you'll see 140 some pages of October. You'll see every penny.
Okay. Have we had a final reconciliation of the special assessment fund?
We're working on that. You guys will get a letter detailing the expenses. Jerry and I were discussing
Okay.
that.
Well, I mean, that's what I was talking about, another mailing, financial mailing.
I don't know if we're going to give a mailing out, but it will be on the website, and if you wish to have a copy, you can
Okay.
come to the window, and they'll give you a copy of it. Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yes, Jeff Brown, Wahoo Drive. I'm a street rep. Just to follow up on the sidewalk issue too, when you do come to a resolution, can we start in the back of the alphabet and work forward? Because Wahoo streets are really bad. Just a couple of budget issues.
Who cares about Wahoo?
Just a couple of budget issues. I do have to say the decorations for the holiday definitely have a wow effect when you pull in the community, and it looks great. And looking at the budget, though, did we spend $30,000?
It's probably going to be more like 32 when we get finished with the additions, yep.
Okay. The other thing is, and I did go to the website and did get the financials for October, and I have a question that under actual net income loss, it shows a loss of $91,500. Are we planning to make that up by how? I noticed we're not going to do the mulch for this year, and that was budgeted for $350,000.
Jerry can explain that, but that loss is defined differently.
I'm gonna, if I can get your email address, I'll either email you or we can set up a meeting and we'll go over the financials in detail.
Okay. So, but we're not doing the mulch, and that was budgeted for $350,000 this year. What's happening with that money?
Any surplus we have, I mean, we use that for some of the items, hurricane, we went over on that budget, but The surplus will go into we're required to add into the reserves, our contribution portion. So we have an option as a board. We can either use it or put it in something. And normally you put any type of surplus either into the upcoming budget or you put it into reserves. And that will be the option the board will be faced with at the end of this year.
Okay, so that wasn't necessarily budgeted to hold the assessments level for 2019?
No, we did not.
Okay.
The assessment levels were kept where they are because we feel as if those items are budgeted correctly and there was no need for an increase.
Okay.
And we are doing the mulch this year, so you'll see that's still not increasing your.
Well, you're going to do in 2018?
19. No.
Right. So yeah. So technically, it'll be in the 2019 budget, not this year.
I mean, by rights, I mean, the
And I agree with
the
that. That's
arborist
great.
says we really shouldn't do it at all. We're doing it because people want it to look nice. It doesn't naturally mean it's good for the plants that we're choking off with the excess mulch, or giving habitat to the termites that we have 16 different types of here in Florida. So fortunately, you guys want it, and that's what we're going to try to give.
Yeah, and I agree that postponing it till January is a better option than doing it now. One quick question on that: is the mulch still going to be the same color?
Similar color, yes, different type. It's a better quality mulch. It has less sand and dirt in it like we had last year. So we'll see it's not just ground up pallets and all from the forestry department. It's a better quality.
So it's a clean mulch?
Clean mulch.
Okay, thank you.
Millipedes don't come from your mulch. The millipede actually comes from the sod. They lay the eggs in the sod. They were brought in when Pulte did the mulching through here. A couple of years ago, I did some extensive research with them on that. And we also had a chink bug, which was actually killing sod. We had a disease in here, and both of them come in with the sod, and they're very difficult, as we all know, to kill.
Vinnie Caristo again, Reflame. Two comments. First comment is, when we come down the main road here, the Village Walk Boulevard, it really looks nice. They've cleaned up a lot of the things that the Hurricane did a job on, but there still isn't a variety of color. And I'm really addressing this for like the landscape committee, something for them to consider. We done some traveling since last year. We were up in Canada and other parts of the United States, and we went on into some malls. Beautiful flowers. They seem to be easily maintained. Some of them are in big pots, like the pots that were just put out here. Others are around trees, you know, with the dirt around the trees. And it makes quite a difference. It looks nice now, but I'm just asking the landscape committee to perhaps consider some kind of plants that add more color besides the green that we have.
I would like to make a comment on that. You mentioned seeing it in Canada?
Yes, yes.
So perhaps
different
those
climate, I understand.
Perhaps those are annuals that you're looking at that always do afford much more color. Our board, going back several years, has made an effort now to have colors, but not the annuals. We have recently added annuals to our front entrance monument and the four corners and around the town center, but throughout the community it's really not feasible because they have to be changed. We have recently added some color, though, with copperleaf plants. You notice the red plants that have been added.
Yes.
We also have just looked at the area where the new golf carts are going to be. We're adding more bougainvillea, which is flowering and low maintenance and more sustainable than the annuals. So to answer your question indirectly, we are making an effort to have more color within the community, but we're also looking at sustainability and not wanting to become overly dependent upon annuals. I will add, though, that individual homeowners are free to add whatever annuals they want in their yard and add their own color. That doesn't require an ACC approval even. So by all means, we would encourage people to do that.
Very good. I just see that as our front door. When people are coming in to look at homes, it's the first thing that they notice.
Well,
and what a difference over by the gate. Oh, it's beautiful.
And this board, we're 8 months now on the job. You've seen some of the things that have been important to us, and that will continue with the next round of plantings, although the seasonal plantings that we put in, the reds and whites, will have some summer replacement, but then there will be a spring planting also, which will also have more color. So we're getting away from bromeliads and dark colors and and no color at all.
All right, thank you.
And Bill shot me down. I wanted the silk flowers. He said absolutely not. So it was,
No silk flowers. The other comment is, I don't know, it's especially troubling to me, and it's Comcast. When we left, we knew that the process was going forward, and we followed along through the Village Walk website and Nextdoor Neighbor, and I thought things were going to be better. But just last night, I was on that Nextdoor Neighbor, and I happened to see so many comments from people who are either, like myself, afraid to switch over because people are, this morning somebody told me it's been 9 visits to their home to try to get something corrected. Other people are talking about 8 weeks, not just visits, long telephone calls to Comcast, waiting to get somebody. They come in, they do their work, and the next day, it's not working again. I just don't understand, and I suppose Robin does. She's up there in the atmosphere someplace, and she talks to these people. Is it the equipment? Is it the subcontractors? Is it because the way the buildings have been constructed? Somebody was saying that some of the older homes are built with solid concrete, and that might be disrupting signals. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the tech guy. I do know this. I want to get the fiber optics. I don't want to go through, especially during the holiday season, what some people have been going through, and yet I just seem to, I hear from good friends, oh, they came in, they were here 3 hours, everything is fine, it's wonderful. And then I get on that Nextdoor Neighbor, my God, it's like a horror show. So I'm really saying this for Robin to hear, and I know nobody's going to give me the answer, the panacea, but I'm holding back, and I think a lot of other people are holding back until we can be more assured of what we're getting is really better than what we've got. Thank you.
what's happening from my experience, and I just went through the.
If I could address it, I would appreciate it.
I didn't know if you heard that or not. I was just going to explain my experience. It wasn't as difficult as it made out to be.
But what I wanted to explain is that we've done 863 installations, and yes, there have been issues. And I have given my email address to people and said, if you've had issues, please contact me. And I have escalated those within Comcast to try and get answers and remedy some of the issues. Many of them we have. You know, as we see repetitive issues that came up, we went after Comcast. They put on additional people when we had some issues, and I feel that they are addressing a lot of them. We still have a few issues outstanding, and with any technology installation, things are going to happen. You're never going to have 100% smooth, perfect, everything went great. But I can say out of 863 installations, I have not heard from that many people that they've had issues. You know, Matt wanted to give you his personal experience. My personal experience was great. They came in, it took them about 4 hours to do the install, and they were done and everything worked.
Well, Robin, I'll say this. One of the people responding on Nextdoor Neighbor last night advised the other people, why are you on Nextdoor Neighbor? Contact Robin. I get a lot of people, they're just not doing that. They're not contacting you, and they should. So maybe if they watch this, the word will go out. They'll get off Nextdoor Neighbor, and they'll get on to you.
I know
but
Bruce
there's
has gone
so
on
many
Nextdoor many
people.
times and advised people to contact me.
Yeah.
And when I get the emails, and I mean, people have called me at home. I've asked for emails because what I do is take all of that detail and I forward it on to Comcast, you know, so that they understand what the whole issue is and that they can get it remedied. So I am in contact with Comcast 7 days a week.
Very good. Thank you. Matt, you were going to say something?
We're going to flash Robin's email address at the bottom of the screen on the TV for you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much.
I would just encourage everyone to document the deficiencies and record it and make it known to Comcast and also to Robin and the board so that we may follow. But it's my understanding, correct me, Robin, if I'm mistaken, don't they have until the end of 2019 to be in full compliance with the contract that was signed?
No, they don't. They had until the end of 2018 to finish construction.
So there are no performance parameters in the existing contract that
Correct.
give them an out on
And one of the issues we're
this.
having is that people are delaying their installs. So we are prolonging Comcast being able to get us 100% installed, get us switched out of coaxial and fully on fiber optic so that they can get it fully operational for us. I mean, right now they are maintaining both worlds, which is a challenge for them. So, I mean, I have been urging people to get their installs done so that we're living in one world and we can get the right resources in here to support that from Comcast.
I think to the benefit of the community, this is all of the laying of the fiber optic has been at no charge to Village Walk, so we're all beneficiaries of that, and these are just the growing pains that go with it, and not to minimize the problems that anyone's experiencing, but the light at the end of the tunnel is that we will have an enhanced system that we basically didn't pay for except through our contract commitment and some inconvenience.
I'd just like to add a few things, and basically it's repeating what Robin said. It is a new technology. There are some glitches. There seems to be a very varied scale of expertise on Comcast personnel, support people, and technicians who come out. Some are very sharp and get it, do it right the first time. Some are not so. So if your luck was not good the first time, I'd advise you to try a second or third time. And document every time that you call in, get a ticket number. If it has not been fixed, you need to call back again. Don't assume that they know that it's still not fixed, or don't assume that Robin knows. She will go to bat for you. I've heard her talking to Comcast. She does not give them a lot of slack, but if she doesn't know that you're having problems and you're only talking about them on next door, they are probably not going to get solved.
Dave Mance from 28868 Yellowfin Trail. I just want to say that on Thursday this past week, Comcast came to my house and I did the conversion. I had a 1 to 3 o'clock window. They actually called a little early and said, we can be there at noon. Can you be there at noon? I go, sure. They came at noon, spent 3 hours there. The guy's name was Joseph. He was excellent. He couldn't have been any better. And he did everything that needed to be done, and you have to put in new passwords for everything. And I said, how about my printer here? He goes, let me sit down there. He put the password right in there. Everything is working great. As a matter of fact, I have a little better TV quality, and the main reason is a lot of us have had amplifiers put into our cable systems. They take the amplifier out, they no longer need the amplifier, and you will get a little better picture on your TV screen. I'm very happy. They did an excellent, excellent job.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. And it sounds like Joseph even went above and beyond by doing your printer, so kudos to him.
Sandy Gibbons from Eagle Ray Court, and I would just like to publicly thank the Candy Cane Elves for all of the work that they've done throughout the community. I think it looks great. Thank you.
Any other comments from the floor?
I would like to make one comment, just following up on Jeff's comment on the budget and mulch. The color of the new mulch, Jeff, cocoa brown. That's what's in the contract. Also, if you could come up after the meeting on the financials, I know you had a couple questions, and I might be able to help you with some answers.
Seeing no other comments, we're going to turn it over to the town manager, Jerry.
I just wanted to make one final announcement, and that is we've all agreed on our 2019 board meeting schedule. Our annual meeting will be March 12th, 2018, and that will be sent out in an e-blast. 2019. Did it again, Bill? And it will be sent out in an e-blast and also posted permanently on the website for the year. Again, that's March 12th, 2019. 6:30.
Why, you got a date?
And Jerry, the January meeting, if you could remind everyone here when the next board meeting is?
January 22nd.
Thank you. January 22nd on your agenda, Bill.
Seeing no others, we're going to make a motion to adjourn. Remember, the next meeting is January 22nd, 1:30.
Jerry, I thought we changed that to January 29th. Am I wrong?
No, it is not. 22nd.
Okay, I thought we changed it. All right.
January 22nd, 1:30 p.m.
All right, you need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
No. No.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion.
I've been